we'll put in date, and then we just do a function called date. Pretty self-explanatory, right? And then double quotes, and then we can define what part of it we want to put in. So typically we'll want the month, the day, and the year. Lowercase m, lowercase d, and those are for number months, number days. And then after that, we're going to put, let's say, a hyphen, and then we want the hour, the increment, meaning the minute, the second, and then A, which is AM or PM. So now we have that there. The only thing left that we need is our percentage change. Now to calculate the percentage change that we need, first we're going to need to grab that open figure. And just so we'll put that in our JSON, and we'll grab the open. So that's the price from 24 hours ago. Now to calculate it, we're going to use if statements. They're very powerful, and they're actually very popular in almost every single language, Javascript, C++, just pretty much anything you can think of. So we're going to use that to tell the computer what to do. So we'll start with if, and we're going to do our parentheses and our curly braces. So inside there is our parameters, and inside of our curly braces is telling it what to do. So for our parameters, we're going to say if. We'll say if open, if the open price, 24 hours ago, is less than price, which is the current price, that means the price went up. So you can comment that out so you remember what this is later. So you go, price went up. Okay, great. Whoops. Price went up. And then we need to fill in some things. So one of the things on our widget is if the price goes up, we want it to say plus and then the amount. So one thing I want to put in is like an indicator. Or is it I think it's or. Indicator and a plus sign. So now we'll have the plus sign because the price went up. And then we need to calculate the difference or the change. So let's do change will be equal the larger number, which is price, subtract the smaller number, open. Now we know the change. So now we need the percent. So let's do percent is equal to so change divided by the opening price. So now we have the percent, but it's going to print out in like 0.01 for 1%. But if it's 1%, we want it to print 1. So we'll need to multiply it by 100. So let's do another one in here. Let's do percent. Percent calc is percent times 100. Or what you can even do is you can overwrite your existing variable and do percent equals percent times 100. It's really up to you how you want to do it, but you have all options available. Now one thing with this is that this number can get really long depending on what the calculation is. You don't want something to be like, oh, we changed 1.234512%. That's going to mess up the way your widget looks, and nobody really cares after a few percentage points, and we need to chop that off. So let's do another variable, and let's do percent change equals, so we'll do number format, and that's built-in PHP function. It'll throw the commas in if it goes over, to the 1,000 mark, and it also lets us set the amount of decimal places just by cutting it off, not by rounding. Some of my other videos I used round. We don't want to round this. We're just going to cut it straight off at 2. So do number format, and then what do we want it to function on or do it on is the percent value, and then comma 2. It's just going to round it to 2, or sorry, not round it, it's going to cut it off to 2 decimal places. Now remember how we added in this indicator up here? Let's throw that in as well, because this is what we're going to echo out or print out on the screen. So we're going to have indicator first, so it'll say plus, and then to append it to this we'll just use the period. So indicator, period, number format, percent 2. Great, so now we want to do the same thing if the price went down, or actually the opposite thing. So if open is greater than the price, then the price went down. Our indicator should now be a subtraction sign. We need to subtract the larger amount, which is now open, from the smaller amount, which is price, and then percent will be the change divided by open. That's still the same. And then you have percent times 100 to get it to whole figures. That's still the same. And then our indicator is still the same because we've now replaced it with the minus sign. Something else that is good to do, or that we are going to do, is we're going to change the color. If the price goes up, we want the text to be green. If the price goes down, we want the text to be red. So we can go in here and just do color will be equal to, now in CSS, you can do the hexadecimals like we did earlier, these colors, or you can just type it in, the word green. It even accepts stuff like aqua. And then color equal to red. Price goes down, change it to red. So how can we put this into what we have? Well, let's go down to what we already got. We have price. Well, we don't want it to say price anymore. We want it to say the actual figure. So we can open up our PHP tags right in the middle of our HTML and just throw in echo price, because that's what we called it up here, our first one. And we have high, low, all that stuff. So let's fill all this information in. I'm going to copy this to make things a little easy. And then we had high. And then we had low. And was it time or what time date? Date. And then the percentage change was percent change. Alright, so something else with the percent change, remember we did the color, so we can set that inside of the TD properties. The reason we are going to do that inside of here instead of the CSS is because when we do our next step, which is the JavaScript or jQuery, it's only lets us overwrite or change what is within the div ID container. It won't let us go and change this on the fly, so we're going to put it in here instead. So we can go in and do style, just like you did up